Salutations and well-met adventurers. I'm Dave Makes Noises. Welcome to Rip Daddy's house. And before we begin, I'm very pleased to say that there's a movie airing on Showtime on October 15th called Passion Play. And it's a documentary about a sports ballman named Russell Westbrook. But the point is, I ghost wrote like 7 music cues for the movie, including the ending credits. So I guess if you have cable or some way to watch TV and you don't have anything going on October 15th, and wanted to hear some noises Dave made, feel free to tune into Showtime at 9 p.m. or set your TiVo boxes or what have you and celebrate a giant step forward in my career with me. Thank you so much. I love you very much. And now we are asking the internet, what is the most useless item you gave your party that they wantonly exploited? Part 3. My friend who I've mentioned in some stories as the dwarf assassin, same one who dealt the killing blow to a young dragon with a severed foot, jokingly asked for a flask of bottomless dwarven whiskey. This was years before Not the Brave of Critical Role, mind you. I, as a complete joke, had the party find one stashed in a priest's secret stash at a desecrated cathedral, and the dwarf was elated. He never let go of that flask, and we all joked that it was a good flavor item. Reminder, though, this is the guy who took a foot and legitimately used it as an improv weapon. He would find a plausible use for the bottomless whiskey if it killed him. Flash forward to an adventure into a dark forest where soldiers had been disappearing in on patrol. Long story short, the party found a super nice house where a werewolf matron had been luring people to and then setting her family/pack on them. They ended up securing the house and defending against the werewolf horde, a la the cult classic film Dog Soldiers. It quickly became apparent that they were outnumbered and outclassed by the pack, and the matron who had revealed herself that they trapped in the basement for a negligible amount of time. Dwarf gets the idea to burn the whole house down with the pack inside. People are in on the plan, but they would need accelerants of some kind. I take out my flask. Oh, shit. The dwarf starts dousing any flammable and somewhat flammable surface in highly concentrated dwarven alcohol, a bottomless amount, mind you. Needless to say, the climactic attack by the pack busting in through the skylight of the house resulted in a massive inferno, incinerating most of the werewolves and even leading to some impromptu flame breathing on Dwarf's part. This in turn inspired the party fighter to tinker build a helmet he could breathe fire out of. Thus was born the Dragon Blaster helmet, all because of Assassin using his otherwise flavor item to incinerate an entire pack of werewolves. I gave the party of level 5-ish a talisman that, when attuned, could change one letter of any one person, item, spell, etc. for one day. For example, Battle Axe changed to Cattle Axe, turning it into a battle axe made entirely out of beef. Had a brilliant character exploited a couple times. Player, not DM, and not really something that was busted, just more entertaining. One of my party members had an ability that anytime he picked up a mundane object, it had maybe a 5% chance to become a useless magical item. He was a bard who picked up a shovel that turned into his guitar, or banjo maybe, that he used for casting. It didn't do anything special, it just magically turned into an instrument that sounded completely normal despite being a shovel. Our first encounter was with a bunch of frog humanoids that wielded giant cooking utensils as weapons, pot helmets, pan shields, forks, spoons, and butter knives as weapons. After the battle, the bard picked up each of our opponents' weapons to see if they'd become magic, and the butter knife did. Its magical effect was that you could wield it as a normal sword for modifiers on dice rolls, but no matter what, if you landed a hit, it would do exactly 1 damage magical slashing. I believe it ignored resistances and immunities, but it would just be 1 damage. Crit, 1 damage. Barely hit, 1 damage. The DM made it clear that a level 20 rogue or paladin could try to dump tons of dice from sneak attack or smites, and this oversized stainless steel butter knife would still just do 1 damage. In my young 20s, me and half the group would drink before and during the game. Sometimes we got a bit too drunk. I don't recommend. One day I gave a magical hat I had not planned or thought out to a player who had not been drinking. He spent what felt like hours constantly asking me what its stats were. He was a power gamer. Me, the drunk DM, finally said, "It makes cake." I still remember the look of disappointment and annoyance on his face. 7 years later, the hat of cake has become a staple of every game, and it has saved more players from starving to death than you would think. I gave my party a ring of teleportation with a twist. It is the ring of material teleportation. It only teleports materials, as in fabrics, in whatever state they're currently in. It was supposed to be a useless joke that I thought would be funny. My party's necromancer tried it out in the inn and wound up naked at the bar. His clothes, bag, and the ring 15 feet away. Laughter ensued. End of joke, right? Nope. Now one of them will strip down, put on the ring, hold a bundle of fabrics doused in oil, set fire to it, and use the ring to teleport the burning materials into a building full of orcs, or cultists, or in one case, completely innocent people by mistake. Easily my favorite thing I gave them was an arrowless bow, a magic +1 bow that shot anything but arrows. Hilarity ensued any time that thing rolled high enough to attack. Miss Terry's magic coin. When hit with a non-magical metal item, it would split into non-magical gold coins equal to the amount of damage that would have been dealt. They managed to get 600 gold pieces. My party was gifted a book after raiding a minor antagonist's mansion. Upon opening the book, it was the drawing of a head/face that was able to talk and had a conscience. He was extremely charismatic and would become the comic relief character in the party, along with actually helping out the wizard in the party with a spell and the dragonborn with their breath weapon as well. The party named the talking book Barry Bumblebook. My friend's girlfriend played D&D with us for the first time ever. DM, also a girl, gave her a few items that you shouldn't be giving to someone at the start of a campaign, but she was basically giving her training wheels for a newer player. One of these items was purely a cosmetic item that had no other purpose, a pink fedora. Now this campaign is super short because it's more of a tutorial for her than an actual game for all of us. A few hours into the campaign, we needed to collect stuff to make a scarecrow which housed a spirit that would guide us to the big bad evil guy. We were supposed to get a hat from the other side of the barn, which would lead us past some dead bodies. We'd investigate the bodies, solve the murders, and then get the hat. Nope. Fedora on scarecrow. DM had the player roll for something, I'm not sure what, but it was a nat 20. DM concedes, and we proceeded into the end game. Gave my players a stick that once a day could project an image depicting the Get Stick Bugged meme. Killed a mini-boss with it. Qual's feather token is the best, especially the tree. Low level, high level, both. Our group was playing Dragon Heist, and we are on the docks. One of the villains shows up, starts monologuing, had a dome up so we couldn't attack him, so my character climbed down under the docks and activated the token and filled the dome. Wasn't the first time that character has stopped a monologue, and wasn't the last. It's become a running joke, actually. The other useless item was a folding boat, useless only because we've never used it as a boat. Bridges, ladders, improvised weapons, you name it, we've done it, but it's never touched water. Yeah, I made a silver fountain for my party before fighting a creature weak to silver. The creature was good, but powerful, and if they were dicks to it, they'd have to fight. What did they do? Did they dip their weapons in the silver fountain? No. They took every crow corpse they could find from a previous fight and made pure silver crows in a world where metal was rare. So that's how my party got filthy rich in session 1. I've got a story that isn't as jaw-dropping or crazy as the ones here, but it's one that I absolutely love and constantly gets brought up during my group sessions. I'm a player playing a swashbuckler rogue with a penchant for pickpocketing. Constantly. During one such pickpocket, our DM gave me a small crystal. The crystal was nothing more than that, a crystal with no magic or anything, so I decided to go to a pawn shop along with our bard to sell it. I was offered 30 gold for it. My character, not being satisfied with 30 gold, tries to uptalk it for a higher price. Q roll, nat 20. Q low roll from store owner, don't remember what exactly. Q both me and the bard becoming the new owners of the pawn shop. We now typically have another player babysit us to try and keep us out of trouble. We occasionally still do. So I gave my party a filter of love. Now, it's actually a pretty decent magic item, but the way that the party used it was stupid. My party's barbarian is stupid as hell. Out of character, he's dating another PC, a tiefling druid. I gave the tiefling the filter of love because I felt she would use it in a useful way. The barbarian then took the filter and drank it. Both of the other PCs ran away, and after a failed perception check, the barbarian saw a vaguely humanoid-looking tree with a hole at crotch level. After an hour in-game, the potion wore off, and the barbarian had drilled a hole in the tree. I rolled to see if something happened to the tree. Nat 20. A small sapling immediately sprung out of the tree as the party walked away. TLDR, Barbarian drank a filter of love and knocked up a tree with a tree ant. Hello again, it is I, Dave Makes Noises, and I'd just like to thank you for sticking around to the very end of this video. Again, if you tune into Passion Play on Showtime at 9 p.m. on October 15th, you will have the opportunity to hear some score that I ghost wrote, and I'm very excited about. If you don't care about the sports ball, please feel no obligation, but the music is pretty cool, but I'm pretty biased because I composed a decent little chunk of it. If you've got an otherwise useless item that you gave to your party that they fully exploited, please do feel encouraged to leave it in the comments section below. And of course, as always, if you've got another story you'd like to share with the community, please feel free to do so in our official subreddit, r/MrRipper. If you're a DM or a player and you're looking for a group to play with, I would enthusiastically point you in the direction of Mr. Ripper's Group Finder, a Discord server we purpose-built to help you find a group to play with, hence the clever name. This week, I hope you put in a few of those 10,000 hours you need to put in. I know I did, and I will continue to. I'm Dave Makes Noises. You can keep up with me on Instagram or TikTok at Dave Makes Noises. Thank you again for watching. Please sub for Nat20s and ding that dong to join the early squad. We love you here at Rip Daddy's house, and we'll see you next time.